River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
What is up, everybody? We are back. Welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan here along with Eric. Eric, say hello.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Yes, we are fresh off of some hot preseason week 2 action against the Saints, who we didn't have practice with because pretty much all of our starters are hurt, or at least 22 total players are hurt. Because I don't know if Mitch was in that original count or not from last week, but excuse me, nonetheless, we still played the Saints. We had some game action that we can talk about, and I had actually a handful of notes. And yes, we're still just to get that out of the way, we're still on Brandon and Trent watch. Just if we have thoughts on that later, cool, we'll get to it. But yeah, no, I have 7 total notes from the game. And full disclosure, I did watch the 20-minute or 20. I watched the 40-minute condensed version on YouTube TV, and yeah, I don't regret cutting the game by 20 minutes. I feel like I didn't miss that much. I had Purdy was not given any favors from bad wide receivers. Campbell Sr. did look great as middle linebacker. Jair Brown had a great tackle for loss early in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
Harvin looks awesome. He looks like a fantastic punter.
Yeah, we've got a punter controversy on our hands.
Oh, dude, right? Like, I remember not Percy. I remember Harvin getting some praise when he was in Pittsburgh last year. But
yeah, he's a good punter.
Yeah, no, dude. All but one of his punts landed behind the 20, but ahead of the goal line. Like, spectacular for a punter.
Yeah.
So if Mitch has to go on IR for his knee, which I didn't realize was that bad, yeah, he'll be a good backup. Schrader, we clearly think Schrader is worthy of RB3, and I mean he didn't look bad, but I mean didn't look spectacular. But clearly Schrader, it's RB3 is his to lose the way that we were featuring him for half the game. Last 2 notes. Ronnie Bell, who I have that signed card of, and I forgot his first name, but Latu, the tight end.
Oh, Cameron Latu, I believe is his first name.
There we go. Very, very bad case of butterfingers from both of them. And then my last note was Dobbs is just gonna be the number 2. He had some spectacular scramble drills. He's athletic as hell. I mean, obviously, he's capable of having good games, but he's also capable of having very bad games, very Fitzpatrick-esque, but a little more athletic than Fitzpatrick. No offense to him. I know he trucked a couple people when he had to, but but no, Dobbs is going to be the number 2. No offense to Brian Allen or I can't even remember the 4th quarterback's name, but Dobbs says, from what I saw, Dobbs secured number 2. And then just one note on Purdy. I saw his press conference. Purdy insisted he wanted to get some game action because actually getting tackled doesn't happen in practice, and he didn't care that it was all 3, 4, 5, and 6 wideouts. He had the starting quote unquote line minus Trent and Feliciano and then Banks. So I use starter loosely.
Yeah.
Because Banks has a broken finger, but he should be back by week 1. Feliciano is week to week. So Buford might end up starting ahead of him because his is day to day from what Kyle said. Trent, we got to see contract. So yeah, McKivitz was the only actual starter out there because unless our center was. But anyway, he insisted on being out there to answer the question you asked in our group chat. Why the hell was Purdy out there? Because he wanted to. And coach let him play 3 series. So I hope he got whatever experience he wanted out of it. But yeah, we got the victory, but it wasn't anything remotely spectacular. Like, and I don't know. It was fun to have some sort of game action, but at the same time, this was like you've said before how much you never watched preseason before we asked you to. Yeah, what was your thoughts watching it?
Well, full disclosure, I stopped watching as soon as Purdy left the field. So...
You didn't watch the Pasternaut on his weekend touchdown? That was a really good play.
I did not. As soon as Purdy left, I lost all interest because I was like, now there's really nobody out here that's starting. I think I saw one series of Dobbs, and that was it. And that was just because it took me that long to turn the TV off.
Oh, you missed a really good pass he had to Crowder deep down the sideline too. That was one highlight that was worthy of being on a highlight reel.
That's good. I mean, Purdy didn't look great. But like you kind of pointed out, I don't think that's necessarily his fault. His wide receivers didn't give him a whole lot of help. His offensive line didn't give him a whole lot of help. So, I think he had 6 pass attempts, and at least on 3 of them, he was scrambling around back there, pretty much from the jump. So,
2 for 6 for 11. That was what his stat line was. I pulled it up right here.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't really expect the guy to do a whole lot when he's, automatically moving around the second that he gets the ball. So, I don't really blame him a lot for that. I think that highlights how important it is to get Big Trent back on the field in some way, shape, or form, with some guaranteed bucks, one way or the other. We got to have him out there. I mean, there's no denying that he's a critical part of that offensive line. I remain concerned about the rest of the offensive line and how well they're going to hold up. But I mean, it's basically the same line that we had last year. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we survived and we got all the way to the Super Bowl with the same offensive line last year. So there's really no reason we shouldn't get to the Super Bowl with the same offensive line that we have this year.
If everybody can get healthy, that's the thing. Like, if Pooney needs to come in, like, cool. He honestly doesn't look bad for a rookie. He's gonna be a guard. He's not gonna be a tackle. He'll be a guard. So if Banks can actually get healthy, Banks is awesome on the left side. Buford, Pooney, or Feliciano, I don't care who. Like, if Banks is healthy, Pooney can even be on that right side, and then we'll be fine. But yeah, we just got to get them. We just got to get them healthy.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll figure that part out. But I'm not worried about Purdy. I saw today where he's going to run again in this last game. So we'll see what that looks like. It sounds like Kyle's going to play more of the starters in this final game. So we'll, I guess, see what it looks like a little bit more for probably a series or 2 with Debo and Kittle out there with, Purdy, and see what that looks like. It should look better, I'm sure. I forget the name of the guy that you said was the running back.
Schrader.
Schrader. I don't know that he's the third back per se. I think he was just the first healthy back that they had in this particular scenario. Obviously
True.
CMC's hurt, not playing. Mason had some sort of injury kind of pop up, so he wasn't playing. Gutierrez, I believe, is the kid that they drafted or something like that. Isn't that right?
I think Gutierrez. I think he was a low or no, did we not? I can't remember if he was UDFA or not. But yeah, with Mitchell being hurt too, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I think, Mitchell's hurt. I mean, we drafted.
I think you're right. I think he would be 4th if Mitchell was healthy. I think Kyle would prefer it being CMC, Mason, Mitchell, and then we'll see how 4th plays out. Well, no, 4th is going to be use check. So if we carry a 5th one, even
right. So I mean, the guy, he was fine, I guess. I mean, he didn't do anything that really wowed me or seemed spectacular in the quarter plus that I saw him rush. It didn't do anything to stand out. He didn't do anything that sucked either. But I mean, the odds of him making the roster, I think, are pretty long, just based on what you just said right there. I mean, the number of guys that we're going to carry in front of him, there's already 4 guys, CMC, Mason, Mitchell, and Juszczyk, that are all going to be in front of him. So I don't know if there's spot for another guy unless he's going to play special teams. And like I said, we drafted another running back in like the 4th round. that's supposed to be like a short, shifty, speedy guy. That was a big deal. So, he's hurt with a hamstring, has been out for most of training camp. But, they're not going to give up on him. He was a 4th round draft pick. So, I don't know. Jair Brown did have that really good tackle for a loss. I thought that the defense overall looked fine playing against the Saints, what seemed to be most of the Saints starters. They didn't look overwhelmed or overmatched. I mean, in fact, they played the Saints pretty closely all through the first quarter. I don't remember when it was the Saints punched it through and got that goal line touchdown. I think it was either very late in the first quarter or early in the second quarter.
I think, I think it was early. I think it was early second, and it was like a 15 play, like some absurdly long drive.
Yeah, but I mean, the 49ers defense didn't look bad. I mean, even with a bunch of guys in that don't normally play, they generated some pressure on Carr a couple of times. They were making hits. They were not missing tackles. So, I mean, lots of things that you'd like to see from the defense, and you'd like to see the defense do well. So that was probably the biggest positive takeaway that I have from the game, is that the defense, even though they weren't playing any of the starters hardly, except for a couple in the safety positions, they didn't look bad. So I think that's a promising sign for me, because I think the defense needs to, step up and it's kind of bad to say get to the next level, because it's not like our defense has been bad like last season, but the defense lapsed quite a bit last season, a few times. And we talked on this show a number of times about how the defense was kind of, slipping and wasn't up to the standards, and wasn't, kind of creating the plays and making the stops and getting off the field and all that stuff. And so, I mean, we really need the defense to kind of step up and really be a top 5 defense again, like we had a couple of seasons ago. And that would be a huge step for us to get back to the Super Bowl. So hopefully we can get there. But
hopefully Sorensen retools us to be more front 7 focused more than back 7 focused, because I think now, with an autopsy of last year, I think because Wilkes has that affinity for the backfield, he figured, our front 4 and our front 7 are just good enough to bull rush, and I'll really hone in our backfield, which it worked. Like, his strategy didn't not work. We had a very good secondary. We led the league in interceptions. Like, we were perfectly fine in the back 4, but we were missing tackles in the front 7. We weren't clogging holes in the front 7. We weren't generating as many sacks as you would expect with Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave, and a blitzing safety with Hufanga before he tore his ACL, and Fred Warner, like, tackles for loss. We were not up to snuff in the front 7. So hopefully Nick can flip that.
Yeah. I would definitely like to see us generate more pressure with our front 4, front 7, and cause more chaos that way, and leave everything in the back end to just guys making plays and making stuff happen through, the quickness that the ball has to come out, and the timing being off from the pressure up front and all that stuff, versus some sort of elite schemes and coverages in the back end. I mean, I think you can mix those things together somewhat. But I do think we got away from what really is supposed to be our bread and butter, which is that pressure up front. I mean, that's where we spend all of our money. That's where we put all of our investment. That's what we put everything into. And, we had roughly $60 million defensive line last year, and we didn't get anything out of it.
Not nearly enough. And hopefully there's some experience that Brandon Staley can bounce off of Sorensen, because Sorensen is supposed to be the end all be all, and then Staley's supposed to be like the super senior advisor. Like, his technical title is assistant head coach / defense, but hopefully he can shed some experience to him, or enlighten him a little bit, because he did run a defense that had Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, and then he ran another defense that had Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Like, he's played with big dog rushers before, so hopefully he can tell him, like, yo, I didn't get to do this with Khalil and Joey. Like, what if we do this with Nick and Javon or Nick and Leonard? I know what Flynard can do because he played for me in LA. And then hopefully go from there. But
yeah, I mean, all the reports so far have been that those two guys are working well together and that relationship seems to be working. So, I mean, hopefully that translates to success on the field. I mean, that's all that we can hope for at this point in time. And I mean, from the snippet of preseason football that I watched and all the preseason football that I'm going to watch this season, because the next game is not on national television. It's on NFL Network again. So I will not get to see it. I think that there's promise for the defense. It's all going to just come down to what happens when the rubber meets the road, when we start playing real football, when we get to week 1. And week 1's going to be a big test. We're playing the Jets. We're playing Aaron Rodgers, who's coming back after missing an entire year of football. He's going to have a big chip on his shoulder. He always has a big chip on his shoulder when he plays.
I was say versus when other time.
Yeah, but I mean, he always has a big chip on his shoulder when he plays us in the first place. But now it's going to have an even bigger chip on his shoulder because he had an entire season taken away from him. Everybody's doubting him. Everybody thinks that he can't do it at 40 years old or whatever the hell he is. And I mean, it's Monday Night Football. I mean, he's going to want to be, he's going to want to have a showing for the ages against our team. And I would love it if we could shove it down his pie hole. So we'll see what happens.
Historically, against Aaron, not great in the regular season. Postseason, of course, you know me, I would be a little worried, but I mean, we've handled him pretty well when the lights are on and the playoffs are on the line. But regular season, yeah, we're kind of, I think we are 50-50, but he's beaten us the last 2 times. But that was Green Bay, and this will be the Jets. So I don't know. Robert Saleh's defense is going to be really good. So we'll just have to see how Nick gets our defense ready. And then assuming Brandon's back, see how much rust that he has, see how much rust. I can't imagine that much with Trent, though, that there'll be that much rust. But no, oh my God. We're going to definitely, obviously we'll have another preview when we get closer to that. But no,
I bet the under on that game the other day, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, first week in the NFL, typically defenses are usually ahead of offenses in the first week or two of the NFL season, because offenses can't really get up to speed and everything like that. You can't really practice at full speed. I don't feel like, and everything like that. So I think defenses are always sort of ahead in the off season. So I think that first Niners Jets game, because both those teams are very good defensively, and Robert Saleh obviously knows the Kyle Shanahan offense, having been there and stuff like that. So he's going to be in the defensive room, kind of whispering in their ear, going, "Well, guys, I've seen this. When they do this is what's going to happen. He's going to do this shit right here." So I mean,
if there's one constant, his defense has always been top 5. His offense has always been bottom 5, but Saleh's defense has always been top 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, in his defense, Zach Wilson was his quarterback, so I mean, what was he going to do? But
and then hack it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I just think it's going to be I think, as opposed to the shootout that a lot of people are expecting, I think they're expecting Aaron Rodgers to throw bombs and touchdown passes and the 49ers offense to be zooming and cruising around. I think it's just going to be a really big slobber knocker of a defensive slugfest, to be honest. So
I'll take that. I would expect that too. Oh man, I'm just so excited. And I didn't realize that our next game is literally from when people are listening to this, 3 days. I can't say if I will watch it live. I'm going to do my best to watch the 40-minute condensed game, because I figured out my YouTube stuff, listeners and viewers. I figured out my YouTube stuff. So I'll do my best to watch the 40-minute recap, if nothing else. But plopping my ass on the couch Monday night, 8:00, the wife understands. The wife and I we've gone through this now. This will be our, we started dating in 2021. Yeah, this will be our third season, or no, our fourth season. Yeah, fall 21. This will be our fourth season. She knows the drill. She's seen the heartbreak. She's seen. But yeah, no, this will be fun. I'm so much happier thinking about that than thinking about this game. If listeners and viewers haven't noticed, you too. But
yeah, I mean,
I just don't have any other notes for this game. Like, it was a preseason game. I don't know. Do you want to talk about Moody missing a 50-yarder? Like, whoop-de-doo, kickers miss 50-yarders. It's hard.
Well, you threw that in the chat today, and I was thinking about that a little bit, and I didn't have a chance to go look, but I'm curious to what the field goal percentage for 50 to 55 yard kicks is. I guess I would like to see Moody make those at home. I could see missing a 50+ yard kick on the road, but I feel like at home you should be making your 50-yarders, because that's, I mean, like, you don't got anything else to do all day except practice that. So like, you should be kicking that 50 times. I mean, maybe you don't kick it 50 times. That seems like a lot of kicking, but you should be 20 kicks a day for 50-yard field goals. I mean, what else do you have to do? So I mean, like, you should know the wind and the turf and the flow and the whatever of your home stadium like the back of your hand. And I mean, like, there should be nowhere on there that, I mean, I get that sometimes you just miss. I mean, like, fine, but like, I don't know. He still concerns me.
He made his 20 to 29. He made his 30 to 39. He made his 40 to 49, which I think was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was closer to 49 than 40. It was a 40-yard kick, though, and it looked beautiful. But then, yeah, the 50, I think it was a 52-yarder. And, like, he didn't full-blown, like, shank it. Like, it didn't just boom, like you had a seizure playing Madden. Like, he didn't shank it that bad. But no, I mean, I thought Moody looked fine. He got more kicking experience than last week, though. Last week he kicked an extra point and that was it. So
yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I don't understand why lots of times in preseason games, like, I don't know why you just don't pull up from like 35 yards and just stop and be like, all right, we're kicking a field goal. I mean, like I want to see my guy kick. Like, I don't even care because it doesn't matter. The game's irrelevant. The score doesn't matter. None of this. It's so stupid. I hate preseason football. But I mean, like, just be like, you know what? I want my guy to kick field goals. So we've got it down to the 32-yard line. I want to see him make a field goal from here. Guys, go kick a field goal.
Yeah.
And just, or I'm going to take a play and I'm going to move the ball to the left hash because I want to see him kick a 32-yard field goal from the left hash. So Josh Dobbs, take a knee on the 32-yard line from left side, and then Moody, you're going out in the next play. I don't care that it's third down. Who cares? You're going out, you're kicking a field goal. I don't understand why they don't do that more to get guys work, but maybe they see enough in practice. I don't know. But I think Moody, I don't know.
I know. He did have some obvious big misses last year, like the Cleveland game, like the Super Bowl. Like, if he has some hiccups, like some really bad hiccups, like, I didn't see anything that was like super alarming. Like, yeah, the emotion behind missing the game-winning kick in Cleveland, like, welcome to the NFL, bro. Like, just don't forget that kick. Like,
yeah.
And then same in the Super Bowl. You didn't know that extra point was going to make or break and get us into overtime. Like, and it was an extra point. He didn't miss a field goal. Like, in the moment, like, okay, it's just an extra point, whatever. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen like super streakiness out of him. Like, we didn't see him miss like 3 kicks in a row and then he kicked 4 in a row, but then he missed 4 in a row. Like, he's at least not up and down like that.
No, but I've still got I don't know. Have we seen him kick a game winner yet? I don't think we've seen him kick a game winner yet. So like,
yeah.
I still got to see him kick a game winner. I've still got to see him make what I would consider to be a high pressure kick. I still haven't really seen him make a high pressure kick. So I need to see him do that before I'm going to settle in and feel good about him trotting out there with the game on the line with 30 seconds to go, or even just, we drove down and there's 2.5 left on the clock and we're kicking a field goal to go up by 3, before we turn the ball back over to the other team. Like I want to feel good about trotting him out there. And like right now I feel like pretty good. Like
it cuts both ways. Like, we want him to have that experience, but at the same time, if our offense is working right, we're not going to give him that experience. So
well, that was the problem last year. We were smashing everybody in the teeth, and
Yeah.
he never got a chance to make those plays. So
we can't make him Justin Tucker if we're not letting him kick further than 30 yards ever. Like,
yeah. So I mean, to your point, I guess if we're just rolling around smashing people in the mouth again and beating people by 30 points a game, and he doesn't have pressure kicks to make, woe is me. Why would I complain, right? I mean, so be it. That's fine. But
then that means it's so fresh for him when it does happen, though. So that's what I mean. It's a double-edged sword. Like, it's what it is. I get. I didn't mean to. Sorry, I didn't mean to just squish it there. But
no, I mean that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. He's still a bit of an unknown for me. I don't feel bad about him, but I just don't feel like when Robbie trotted out there, I was like, all right, well, it's under 50 yards. Robbie's going to make it. Like I was good with that. Right. I didn't ever sweat the fact, as long as it was under 50 yards, I was like, Robbie's going to make it. If it was over 50 yards, I was like, oh, no. Yeah. Right. But I mean, when Jake's out there, I'm just kind of like, well, probably going to go in. So, but
no, I completely feel that. I think it's other things that, like, he's not giving me a reason to raise him up my worry list. I'll put it that way. Like, since we have just a little bit of time and there's nothing else worth trying to make more interesting than it was with the Saints game.
The punters, the battle of the punters.
Oh my God. Harvin deserves I'm really fascinated if we're going to actually carry both of them. I feel like we're not. I feel like push comes to shove, Mitch is going to go on IR and we'll sign Harvin then. Like, there's no way we're carrying two. There's no way we're carrying two punters on the 53.
No, I don't think that you can do that.
Is that a rule? Can you really not?
No, I mean, you can, but I mean, you with the number of people that you need and the roster spots that are so valuable, I mean, like, to carry two punters would just be absurd.
Yeah. If Mitch is not, I'm a bad host. I didn't look to see if Mitch is, I think Mitch is just, we're having him on the sideline, and I don't know if he has like a true PUP or IR. I know he's not on IR. We would have saw that, but yeah, no, I really liked Harvin though. Like, if we do have to lean on him, I mean, we're not going to skip a beat on punting at least.
Oh no, he's solid. No, I really like him too. I liked him when he played for the Steelers, actually, because I end up seeing a lot of Steelers games just because I live here in Ohio and they roll through, they play a lot, and I've seen him kick a bunch of times, and he's always seemed like a pretty good punter. So I mean, like, I'm surprised. I saw him in the box score last week, and I was like, who's this guy punting for us? I'm like, why isn't Mitch punting? I didn't realize Mitch was hurt either. I was just so confused. And then, like, when I saw him punt this week, I was like, oh, I'm like, he's that Steelers guy. I was like, I totally recognize him now because he's kind of a stocky dude.
And, he kind of looks like Big Ben.
yeah. And I was like, I remember that guy. I was like, I like that dude. I was like, well, like, if he's our punter now, I'm okay with that. So whatever.
I respect when special teamers are a little bigger. Like Janikowski was a big Janikowski was a big dude for a kicker, and you want to put Robbie Gould as a Mr. Automatic and up there with Tucker. Janikowski in his prime, he was a Mr. Automatic.
Yeah.
He was sick. And again, I love that he was a big dude.
Didn't the Raiders draft him in like the first round or something stupid like that?
Yeah, I think it might have been like pick. Oh God, what pick was it?
I'm gonna look it up while you're doing something else.
Oh no, I was trying to look it up too.
Okay.
Sebastian. Sorry if I didn't say his name right. Sebastian Janikowski. He was. Oh God, there it is. Pick 17. Literally pick 17.
God bless you, Al Davis.
He didn't end up being a Robbie Aguayo.
No.
Jesus. Anyway.
Oh, you got super loud, Dan.
Maybe. Do I?
You're better now.
Okay. My fun fact, this happened on my old show too, and I don't know why. Um, but anyway, well, we have a little bit of time left to squeeze some content out of this episode. But the Saints game, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we'll get any good content out of the Raiders game on Friday. But we might have to.
Mania.
Yes. Oh, dude. I'm so happy for the stash. So happy he got named the starter. But no, do we have any thoughts on what came out of the rumor mill about Brandon's holdup with his contract being strictly about how much money is I like the way David Lombardi put it, funny money in the fourth year versus like actual tangible money. That's apparently what the holdup is like how much is funny money versus like guaranteed or something to help with the AAV, like whatever the specific thing is. Like, no offense to David if that's actually what it is, and I'm not articulating it well. Whatever's going on with this fourth year, can we just hurry it up? Like, if it's just this one thing and it's a fourth year and we're not even going to think about it for the next 3 years, can we just lie and say, sure, we'll adhere to this? Like, just get him signed. Like, if it's just this one thing holding everything up, a year that's 4 years away from now, put whatever he wants on the paper. It's 4 years from now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, yeah.
If he's halfway in the door, pull him in.
We're never going to get to year 4 of whatever terms that's agreed to on there anyway. So I don't care if he wants, a flying car for year 4 as part of his package. Just put it on there. It's fine, because by the time we get
2029, because this year will still count. I don't think this year is going to get voided. I think it's going to be like a true extension.
Yeah.
So who the hell knows what the NFL is going to look like in 2029?
Yeah,
whatever he wants on year 2029, just freaking give it to him. Like,
yeah, because we're just gonna tear it up anyways. It's not gonna matter. So yeah,
right.
I don't. Yeah, that's really weird to me that would be the hang up, and that would be where everybody is stuck on. Is on
like
that
you've
year.
agreed to. I assume there's an option bonus. Like, how that's going to get paid out over a couple years. You agree to a signing bonus. That's going to get paid out, like, no matter what. You agree to how that's going to go. Just, I cannot wait to see this when it finally happens and it drops on Spot Track, and we can see finally, like, in detail, because I love reading contracts like that. Like I'm gonna circle in on 2029 and see exactly what the hell the holdup was and what they finally agreed to.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that I mean, if you believe what everybody's saying and you believe that everything that you hear, it's very clear that he wants I don't know that notoriety is the right word, but it's what I'm going to use. He wants the notoriety that goes with having a certain contract valued at certain numbers and having certain average annual value and all of that. He wants that fame, for lack of a better term, that goes with those terms. He wants the $30 million a year annual value. He wants the contract to be.
You want the bragging rights. Right?
Yeah, he wants his contract to be seemingly in the top 5 of all-time value for wide receiver contract. These things are important to him for whatever reason, and apparently he needs that 4th year to be able to get there, to have that value and to get that recognition that he's looking to get, that gives him some sort of validation that he is a good receiver and a great receiver, and that he's worth what he's getting paid. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, at some point in time, like, I wish somebody would just sit him down and be like, dude, like, whether you're the 5th best or 4th best paid receiver in the NFL or the 8th best paid receiver in the NFL, really doesn't matter that much. It's your guaranteed money that matters, and then how well you do on the field is what ultimately seals your legacy, because no one is going to ever remember you if the only way anybody is going to remember you if you had this giant contract and you played like shit is if you were this bust, right? Because then you're going to go down in legacy as this bad contract that was a horrible bust and that was a complete waste of money. And you don't want that. You don't want that to be your legacy. So sign a contract that has really great guaranteed money that, is what you're looking for, and then go out and be a superstar on the field and make your legacy that way. That's how you really truly make your legacy. That's how you end up being great forever in the NFL, is putting up the numbers, putting up the statistics, making plays, making highlights. I mean, like, that's what it's all about. I mean, like, it's a different era and a different time and a different generation, but I mean, Jerry Rice never made $10 million a year. He's the greatest receiver, possibly the greatest NFL player of all time. There's, because he was so amazing and so dominant on the field. So, and you've got other guys that, were throughout their history just as amazing and just as dominant and just as absurd, with what they did on the field. And people still talk about them to this day, and they never were necessarily the highest paid or the most, the top player in their field, but they were so impressive on the field that people still talk about them.
Right. I just pulled up for any value of this. This is from Over the Cap, and I'm looking at total guaranteed versus fully guaranteed. Like, this is like total, to my understanding, total guarantee is like all said and done, injuries are good, like everything's all hunky-dory, you get to that last year of the contract and this is what the total can be. But then fully guaranteed is like the fully no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine if he was willing to come down to an AAV of 29, that's 116 million for 4 years. Because it's obviously like that. I feel like that's not a dispute. It's 4 years. And then 29 million would be 116 4 year, or 30 million would be the 120. So if he came down on the AAV, which does mean stuff, but doesn't at the same time, it's got to be between these two, the total guarantee and the fully guarantee. And when you look at our benchmark, the alleged benchmark, Amon-Ra, his fully guarantee is 34.5 basically, and then the total guarantees is 77. That's a massive, massive gap.
Oh yeah.
Versus what AJ Brown got. I think he's given up that he's getting an AJ Brown contract that's 51 fully, 84 total out of the on paper 96. Like, AJ's got a great contract, and Amon 77, like 34 and a half is fully guaranteed of 120, and then it gets a little better at total at 77.
I mean, so he's got to be looking for something between
he's probably
50 and 75 total guaranteed, right?
I would be shocked if the fully guaranteed was not 60. Like, the way this has been knuckle dragged out, I feel like he was trying. I feel like
fully guaranteed is 60, or the total guaranteed is 60.
I think all said and done, this will be the fully guaranteed at 60. So it's in between.
So he'll have the second highest fully guaranteed contract.
I think he will have 60 million fully guaranteed. Like, I think what's going to end up happening is that the Niners are going to guarantee a crap load of this contract. But so in terms of guaranteed, he gets to brag that he's getting the most money out of the contract, and he can also brag on paper that I got a St. Brown deal on paper, but I'm also getting more guaranteed money than him. I think that's where this bouncing is boiling down to, is that will be willing to have the lower AAV, like 25, 28 and a half, but he's going to get damn near all of it. Since NFL players, except Kirk Cousins, can't get fully guaranteed contracts.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. If you're not a quarterback, I'll put it that way. If you're not a quarterback, you're not getting a full guaranteed contract. So I'm projecting a little bit. I feel like Aiyuk was trying to yank as much guaranteed money out of us, while also, to his credit, he's setting an example of trying to get your cake and eat it too, because our ownership is willing to be loyal, like not to a fault like the Cowboys, but Kyle is a very loyal person. And that, I think, will ultimately be what drug this out so much, is that we were not going to guarantee this much. Okay, we're going to come up a little bit. Okay, I guess we're going to come up a little bit more. Okay, now you're not happy with the AAV. Jesus Christ. Okay, if we backload the contract this way, and then we guarantee just a little bit more, like, I don't know. This has just been such a crazy saga. I want it to be over, and I want to see the contract that we finally settled on. Like,
I mean, I don't really have any qualms against guaranteeing him, like, I don't know. I mean, if you want to guarantee him, what? You said 80 million?
Oh, 60. No, not 80.
60?
I think we're going to end up guaranteeing him either 60 or 65 million. I'd be shocked if his fully guaranteed is less than 55.
Okay.
Or less than 60, or yeah, I'll go low end 55. If it's less fully guaranteed than 55, I will be shocked.
Okay, but if we fully guarantee him 60 million over 4 years, that's only $15 million a year fully guaranteed. Right. Okay, who cares? That's fine. I'm more than willing to do that. I mean, he's good. He's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I am all about, I say it on the show all the time, I'm about paying for performance. You show me what you can do over multiple seasons, and I will reward you for that performance. He has shown, with the exception of the 1 year where he was in the doghouse for like 7 games, he has shown that he is an exceptional player and an exceptional talent. He runs routes. He's the best route runner on the team. He has exceptional hands, as he has shown multiple times. He is able to get open. I think the only thing that he needs to work and figure out is, and I guess you'd have to ask the greats how you do that, but how you beat double teams, because it was clear to me that in the second half of the season, teams started doubling him and were taking him away in our offense. So he's got to figure out how to start beating double teams, if that's possible for him to be able to do. But he is a dynamic weapon. He runs every route. He goes all over the field. He goes across the middle. He goes down the field. He's got breakaway speed. He's got the ability to break tackles. He blocks. I mean, he does everything that you could ask for in a receiver. So
yeah, he is a true X receiver. Like, if nothing, like, sure, we had to share the targets around. Look at what he did with the targets he had, and tell me he is not a true X receiver.
Yeah. So I really have no qualms about paying the guy. I mean, you could always screw up, right? You can always give a guy a truckload of money. You know, I mean, that always happens. I mean, some guys, once they get the big pile of money, they just lose their motivation, because now they've got an infinite amount of riches, essentially, and they just don't have that drive anymore, right? They've reached their pinnacle, and they've got their $80 million or $60 million of money, and they don't have the motivation to do it anymore. But you never know until it happens. So, I mean, like, I would be willing to risk $60 million on Aiyuk to say, hey, man, you've shown me for 3-4 seasons now, like 3.5 seasons, that you're really freaking good. And I'm willing to go all in on you and take a shot on you. And I want to have you here paired with Purdy for the next 3-4 years to try to run this thing and be part of the core of this team going forward. So let's do this. And I would pay him. So,
yeah,
I mean,
he can be a core piece beyond, like, we know next year is going to be a cap hell year, but 26, 27 pieces are going to start disappearing. Like, we have to enjoy, like, us as fans too, we have to enjoy what we have now. Like, because we're going to have to start asking questions about Hufanga going away, Ward going away, when's Warner going to go away? Kittle's barely younger than me. Like, he's going to go, we're closer to him getting released or take a pay cut sooner than later. Juszczyk will go away. Trent's 36. Like you've said countless times, Trent could retire at any minute. Like, keeping Brandon here with Purdy, with CMC, with Nick Bosa, like those 4 players alone, some teams would kill to have 3 of those players, and we have 4 of them.
Mhm.
Brandon signed this damn contract, so we know these 4 players are going to be with us at least until 2028, and then we'll try to ride the ship the way the rest of everybody goes. The 2019 core, we are closer to saying goodbye to them than not, and to carry over into whatever this next core we want to call the Purdy years, since I don't know, Jimmy, for lack of a better word. We've almost transitioned out of there, and we're going to ride the ship, but we need this core that can be you, Purdy, Christian, and Nick. Get on board, please.
Yeah. I mean, you make a really good point. I mean, Brandon's only 26. I mean, he's very young for a receiver still. He's got a lot of years in front of him. He's not going to hit 30 until the end of this contract and all that stuff.
Debo's 30. Debo could disappear too.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot to happen there. I mean, I think Debo's gone after this season anyways, unless he restructures his contract. But,
oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to happen there. I mean, you rattled off a number of names that, unless they're going to continue to take restructures and continue to change their contracts around, they're going to have to, or outright pay cuts. They're going to have to leave. I mean, Juszczyk took a pay cut this year. Is he going to be willing to take a pay cut again next year to stick around? I mean, I don't know. If I'm him, I'm probably taking a pay cut. Where else am I going to go as a 30-some-odd-year-old fullback? I mean, like, there's only 2 other teams in the league, I think, that even use a fullback. I mean, where else?
Packers, the Raiders, the Ravens. I think that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, where else is he even going to go? I mean, what are you going to do? Your options are kind of limited. So if you want to keep playing football, I guess you take a pay cut. Kittle's another interesting option. I mean, Kittle really did himself a service last year by having such a great season, because, previously he's had a number of down years and hadn't really lived up, in my opinion, to the contract that we paid him. And, if he's able to string together another season like he had last season, this season, it's going to set up a really interesting offseason with him, because he's got a big contract that's coming due. He's going to be one of those people that will be looking to, give back to the team, but, he'll have put together 2, really top-notch, top-tier tight end seasons. And, how do you say, well, yeah, why would I give money back? I'm one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. Like, why would I take a pay cut? So
I agreed to restructure 3 years in a row. Like, I would like to not do that. And we've gotten to 2 Super Bowls. We've had a history. Like, sometimes the cards just don't go in your favor. And I showed that even though I'm 32 when he's up for a new contract, or 33 when he's up for a new contract, like, yeah, I've shown that I'm still physically capable to get the bag somewhere. And if you're not going to give me the bag, we got the 2 Super Bowls. Let's be real. He's probably going to be up in the Ring of Honor. Like, we had a good run. We can't say we didn't have a good run.
Yeah. But at the same time, again, I don't know, if you're a 33-year-old tight end, what exactly is your market? I mean, like, someone's going to pay him, but, like, how much is he going to get paid? And is it worth leaving San Francisco to go get that money?
Right.
Whereas, I don't know. I mean, like, if you can just keep, like, creating void years and, like, getting paid, like, you become like this Shohei Ohtani contract, right? Where you're just getting paid, 10 years down the road. I mean, like, I don't know. Is that really so bad that you're getting a $4 or $5 million check 5 years after you've retired from the NFL? I mean, I don't know that that's really that terrible in the long run. I mean, it sucks that you're not getting your money now, but I mean,
right.
I don't know. Is that such a terrible thing? I don't know. To me, it wouldn't be, but
you just reminded me. I'm going to show you Juwan Jennings, his contract, and with our time, this will be the last thing I'll show you. But this is, God, his contract is hysterical. Look at that. Look at how they structured Juwan's contract with 4 void years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And it's a $10 million contract.
That's
Like,
insanity.
or 15 total, 15 total, 10 total, 10 and a half total guaranteed, but like fully face value is 15.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look at how they structured the crap out of this contract.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I mean, I'm understanding that, right? So like, say he just like up and retires at the end of 2025, right? Just for shits and giggles, for the sake of this conversation, he's still getting paid all that money in 26, 27, 28, and 29, right?
Oh, if he retired, after 25, sorry. So yeah, if we we would still have dead cap in because it would obviously be a post 6 release. Yeah, we would eat 3.7, but then we'd still somehow save 8.2.
Well, that's all
Like,
cap numbers, but I mean, like,
yeah.
he still gets this money, right?
The signing bonus for sure. The option, I think, because it's an option, probably not. But then again, uh, I I like to think I understand contracts, but at the same time, I kind of like don't like. It's I
Well, the
really
signing bonus he gets all up front. That's just prorated for the cap. So I mean, I guess he doesn't get that. So I don't know.
that's true.
Maybe all this stuff is just funny money. Maybe all this void year shit is just maybe that doesn't exist. Maybe he gets all the money up front. I don't know. I don't understand how this works. I wish I
Well,
understood
no,
that better.
the option bonus, the option bonus is an option. So, because see, there's no dead cap, so maybe I don't. I
He's
feel
got to be
see,
getting some of that money somehow.
yeah, no, see, like I say, I like to think I understand the cap, but then I don't.
We
Like,
need a capologist for this show. Damn it, Dan.
I know I need a. I'm trying really, really hard. David would be wonderful, but David would never come on here.
Just ask him one time. Just throw it out there. Just ask. But like, look, we've got a nice little podcast.
I gave him a shout out on Twitter and said, "Keep preaching that it's not strictly about AAV."
Yeah,
Because he's done that countless times. Like, guys, stop getting hung up on the AAV. Brandon's contract is far more complicated than that.
Yeah, just hey David, we've got a nice little podcast. We chop it up about Niners information. We'd really like to understand things from a cap perspective.
Can you give us 20 minutes? Can you give us 20 minutes breaking down specifically Jelon Jennings' contract? His little $15 million contract.
Yeah, if we can understand that contract, we can understand them all.
Oh my gosh. We at least need to do him the courtesy of giving him like Nick's contract, like something with a little more nuts and bolts to it.
Sure, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. Just as long as he can teach me.
Yes. Oh man. Well, I think, yeah, I'm seeing what time it is. I think we've had an awesome episode. So with that, I need to let you all know about our sponsor, our wonderful sponsor, RoyalRetros.com. What is Royal Retros? It is your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey, whether you're a football fan like us or a fan of any other major sport. They got you covered. Basketball, baseball, hockey, what have you. Go ahead and check out the Candlestick Park Collection 2. It is still there. I went there to verify. And it's curated with the Bay Area in mind, and all the stuff is wonderful there. When you find something you like, use the promo code Shady Sports at checkout, and it'll get you 10% off of the entire order, not just one item. Again, it's promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order off RoyalRetros.com. Again, RoyalRetros.com. Go get yourself an authentic jersey today and use our promo code Shady Sports. All right. And with that, guys, we are still selling shirts for charity. We started this a little over a year ago because we were inspired by Dan Snyder. Weird way to phrase that, but in spite of Dan Snyder, we wanted to kind of lead the cause in having owner accountability be the same as player accountability. Like now we got David Tepper, our own owner, which I'm going to make a note to follow up on that just to see how our owner's little controversy played out. But the Texans minority owner too committed a terrible crime and got a very little punishment for it. But yeah, we created this hashtag below, hashtag owner accountability, for owner standards being higher than player standards, as they should be. And to put money where our mouth is, so to say, we created these t-shirts that we're selling for charity for Mountain Comprehensive Care Center in Kentucky. A little more about them in a minute. This is our first shirt with our logo and our with our hashtag on it and our saying on there, owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability. This has the most variety of colors, most variety of sizes and styles. Pick whatever suits your fancy. Pricing starting at $22.99. And again, all of the proceeds from every one of these shirts I'm about to show you go to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center in Kentucky. It is a victim of abuse not for profit, and they're wonderful. We've had them on the show before, and yeah, the proceeds for these shirts will go to them. The next shirt is our logo, our cover art. If you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other wonderful podcasting platform, the next shirt is the alternate logo with some peanuts and a goalpost. It's an awesome shirt. Again, a little bit of variety of colors and styles, whatever suits your fancy. And then our last shirt is our mascot, a cute little peanut eating a bowl of peanuts. And no, we're not overthinking if that's cannibalism or not, but he is patiently waiting now for our Raiders game on Friday. And then our Monday Night Football kickoff game on September. Oh, I don't know. The day is not, it's not September 3rd, September 9th, right? That's our kickoff.
The 8th, I think.
Monday.
Oh, 9th. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to, yeah. Anyway, that's a cute little peanut. That's our cute little peanut.
Traveling for that game. Gosh, dang it.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Oh, snap. Anyway, guys, anyway, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center is getting all the proceeds for these shirts. The link for them and the shirts. We have a link for Mountain Comprehensive Care Center and the bonfire link in the show notes. Go ahead and scroll down and take a look. We appreciate it. Mountain Comprehensive Care Center appreciates it. And yeah, we want to give back. We don't want any money from these shirts. And yeah, just go into a good cause because sometimes life has more important things than football, surprisingly. Anyway, yeah, like I said, to wrap up, we do have a game on Friday, the 23rd. We are going to be going to Vegas for our last preseason game, and then we'll have a little bit of time for roster cut down. We'll have 2 weeks for roster cut down and a little bit of light practice until our kickoff game on Monday Night Football on the 9th. In terms of what we're going to do, we definitely don't have another episode this week, unfortunately. I'm going to be out of town, and we're gonna hit you all back up on Monday the 26th. So unless Eric, you feel free to do a solo episode if you want, but otherwise we'll be back on the 26th.
Only if there's a Brandon or a Trent signing, then I'll do an emergency pod. But I don't even know how to start the recording software or anything like that, so it'll just be a Twitter post.
Yeah, short of an emergency episode. If we do have to do a signing emergency, a very brief one, I will do my damnedest to make time for it. But if it's on Thursday, I'm going to be pissed because I am out of town on Thursday.
I'll message you in from wherever you are, Dan. It doesn't matter. You just post from wherever you are.
Oh my God. I sneak into the bathroom at the concert I'm at, and
yeah.
YouTube flags us for the copyright of the music.
That's fine.
But yeah, anyway, short of an emergency episode, we'll be back on the 26th. It's my fault. 9 out of 10 times it's my fault if we outright miss an episode. So, but yeah, I don't have anything for the news. I don't know. There didn't seem to be much news other than that Buccaneers player getting arrested for peeing on someone. But
the only other news is that old noodle arm Colt McCoy retired today. So there was that.
Yes, shout out to McCoy. Had a much longer shelf life than any of us. Like I really got taken aback when I was like, damn, it's really been 14 years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Supposedly he's going to the TV booth too, so that'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, good for him. And going in the Longhorns Hall of Fame if he hasn't already been put in the Longhorns Hall of Fame. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, good for the guy. He was obviously a really good, bench guy. Obviously a really good locker room guy to last that long in the NFL and make as much of a career as he did. And for what he turned out his career to be in terms of a backup, I mean, he was good enough to come in and play a couple of games a season and keep your team afloat, which was all that you can really ask for of a guy like that. So, hats off to him, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, outro music, River Road by Justin Muth. And yeah, we will be back on the 26th unless there is a signing emergency episode. So have a good one, guys, and beat the Raiders.
Yeah, beat the Raiders.
See y'all next week.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road,